All right, people. Everything is pumping right now. Crypto coins and stocks. And I think it's going to keep pumping. Yeah, there'll be pullbacks, but I think it's going to keep pumping. Let's go down the list because it's pretty exciting. Nervos' network, CKB, is up 70% in a day because they launched this thing called the RGB Plus client for Bitcoin. That's right. It went up 55% first, and then it was like, 55 is not enough. We'll go for 70. So it ended up being like 76% up for the day. So that they received a huge surge. Trading volume increased by like 2,000%. And I think it's still kind of going up right now. Of course, so basically, like the surge propelled the token to levels not seen since 2022, and that's 2 years ago, obviously, and that was because it was probably still coming down from the bull run then. And it is with the release of RGB++, and no, that is not a coincidence. It utilizes RGB++, which stands for Really Good Bitcoin, utilizes the Lightning Network sidechain to tackle scalability challenges. So the RGB++ idea makes use of a Bitcoin L2 as an RGB client is really intriguing. RGB derives from Peter K. Todd's single-use seal, uses Bitcoin UTXO as seals and Bitcoin blockchain as a decentralized publication platform. So basically, it's kind of like a bridge to Bitcoin, but it's a bridge to really good Bitcoin. According to the forum post, RGB++ addresses issues that were present in the previous iteration of RGB were introduced while introducing new functionalities such as enhanced transaction verification methods. Additionally, the protocol aims to streamline processes like token airdrops. So it's not only a bridge to Bitcoin, it's a bridge to really good Bitcoin plus. That sounds really dumb, but that's why it's actually pumping. So pretty cool for CKB. But a pump like this does actually retrace. It's going to retrace a little bit over the weekend, probably, overall. And I might be interested in taking a little bit of profits and then buying back in if you're not too worried about just it keeping going up forever, which I don't think it's going to keep going up forever. Like, I might keep it for a day or two, and then if it just like stays where it is right now, I might dump a little bit of some of it at least, and then try to buy back in at a lower price. Vitho surged up today. Vitho is usually more volatile than Vechain. I still would buy Vechain because it does generate Vitho, but aside from generating Vitho, Vechain is just more the stable investment, and the Vechain team is less likely to manipulate Vechain than Vitho because they don't want gas to cost all that much. But right now, because Vechain has surged about 30% over the last week, Vitho has surged about 36% on the day. Now, I think this is like a little too much of a pump for Vitho, so it might actually retrace unless Bitcoin just keeps going up exponentially, which it might actually, but it might be actually a good time to convert some of that Vitho back into Vechain or sell some of that Vitho to buy other coins at this point. Vitho does tend to pump a lot during a bull run and just drops off the face of the earth during a bear market. But let's not forget, there is a huge amount of Vitho out there. The generation rate is far greater than the burn rate, and it's going to be that way for basically forever plus 2 weeks at this point. So not really sure. I think Vechain and Vitho is kind of being hype pumped because there is going to be some kind of tokenomics adjustment towards the end of the month. I hope it's a good one. If it is, they could pump even further. I want Vechain to reach 5 cents by the end of the month. Vitho, I'm not really sure. I think it's going to be very volatile, so it might be a good like trading coin. But overall, I think Vechain and the Vechain ecosystem is going to do quite well into the future. That's right. Also, Stacks is way up today. Now, Stacks is like smart contract and building stuff on the Bitcoin blockchain. I think that's a disaster because I think Ordinals actually showed us that you can't actually build anything on Bitcoin. But hey, why not try the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? Because that's what crypto maxis do. I don't think the Bitcoin community has quite given up on building stuff on Bitcoin. At least part of the community hasn't. The other part of the community doesn't actually like the idea because it does make Bitcoin significantly slower. Remember, Bitcoin has 10-minute block times roughly, and they only have 1 megabyte per block. So anything you stuff more into a transaction will actually affect the TPS speed. And unlike those other chains with 1,500 TPS, Bitcoin's TPS is not good enough. Remember, in crypto, you don't have to be the fastest blockchain. You just have to be fast enough. And Bitcoin is, well, not fast enough. And some of that stuff cannot actually go through Lightning. I think they're trying to do like the L2 stuff too, but I think smart contracts overall would actually be pretty much a disaster on Bitcoin. I mean, Ethereum is even not really even made to handle them. Bitcoin is definitely not made to handle them because Bitcoin still scales even worse than Ethereum. And with the small block sizes and long block times, not really sure how that is actually going to play out. Yes, the Bitcoin community really wants development on Bitcoin to work. You know, BRC20, ordinals, and a lot of other stuff they're building. I think it's going to end up in a pretty big mess because Bitcoin is just not made for this stuff. It has basically one purpose, and that is store of value. And I think they should just stick to the store of value because it realistically can't do anything else. But nonetheless, Stacks, I believe, is still a very good buy this bull run. Why? Because it's the first of its it's really the first of its kind. And there's enough people that are obsessed with building on Bitcoin to actually make it a good buy and really pump it up. It's not like top 10, top 15 yet. It's heading there very quickly. And I do think it's going to have a super run this bull run. So Stacks, you might want to own some of, even though I don't personally believe in it myself. And you know what? Coinbase is actually way up because earnings are going to be way up for Q4. Who would have guessed when Bitcoin increased from 25,000 to like 43,000 or something like that, Coinbase would actually benefit from that. Obviously, I'm jesting. I think everyone expected this, and the shares are going up. And remember, it's not only that the earnings expectations are high, it's that the current price of Bitcoin is going even higher. The higher Bitcoin goes, the higher Coinbase goes, because Coinbase has large investments in Bitcoin, and their stock is going to be really strong. Now, their stock is nowhere near the all-time high, but it might just hit an all-time high this year. So Coinbase's shares rose by 37% as Bitcoin surged, with analysts expecting strong Q4 revenue growth. And there's also going to be very strong Q1 revenue growth, unless someone nukes Coinbase or something, which I doubt is actually going to happen. Anticipated revenue boost driven by increased trading volumes and improved earnings per share. And let's not forget, Coinbase has begun overseas businesses and has other businesses like, leverage trading that's actually coming up. So it's going to be very good year for Coinbase. I would not be at all surprised if Coinbase completely busted its all-time high share price. Yes, Coinbase is still a buy for me because, unlike those other analysts, we think that Bitcoin is going to 150,000. And why wouldn't you buy a stock like MicroStrategy or Coinbase when you think it's going to head to 150,000? So analyst consensus suggests a notable increase in Coinbase's fourth quarter revenue, which is going to increase into Q1, obviously, which is projected to surge by approximately 22% from the third quarter to 825 million. This growth is expected to be driven by strong trading volumes, with estimates nearly doubling from 76 billion in Q3 to 142 billion in Q4. Obviously, Coinbase takes a percentage of that volume. And it's not only the trading volumes. Coinbase actually holds like 10, 15,000 of its own Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin is going to go up in value too, which drives up the overall company's price, which will obviously drive up its share price. So Coinbase is doing extremely well and will continue to do extremely well. It might actually outperform Bitcoin. So if you're into stocks, Coinbase, MicroStrategy is the way to go. I think Marathon and Riot are good too, but I think they are a little bit more risky than Coinbase. SEI is another one that's doing excessively well. I still like the trio of SEI, Sui, and Solana. SEI is the smallest one of those cryptos. I believe it still has a chance to actually 20x. I do think they are going with the airdrop method, which has been incredibly successful for Solana. They don't have a phone. I don't think they're going to develop one. At least I haven't heard of one right now. But they're actually going to do more airdrops. They're going to get more people excited in the chain, and they're going to attract more developers that way. Look for SEI to actually make a big move. It's like number 40 right now. Look for it to make a move, maybe in the top 20 at this point, because I do believe there's a lot of stuff coming for this chain. There's VCs behind it, and I think there's going to be a lot of projects that are going to be built on it as well. At least like they're going to try to fund projects that are actually building on it. These are coins that are actually focused on their ecosystems, and that's one thing I really, really like about them. Not so much focused on just outside industrial utility, but focused on their ecosystems as well. I think that rounds out like most of the big gainers for today. We have one stock, a couple of coins, and I think other coins are going to start catching up as well. We'll see like more and more top gainers, within the top 50 and even within the top 100 as we get more and more into the bull run. But I think those four or five things are going to be pretty good long term as well. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.